everybody. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a future plan that I've sort of had in my mind for the past probably 5 months, if not many years actually, if we go down in deep to it. As deep as these stones, Jesus. But first I'm going to answer a question. Yeah, the question, and it's related to the video I put up, oh god, last night, which is the, nighttime wildlife hunt. Wasn't the best video I've ever made. It was just me messing around the garden more than anything, and I've realised I caught enough stuff on film that, I'll put it together, shove it online. And people really like this sort of stuff, and I know all the times that I've made these sorts of videos, people have always been very positive about them and said it's brilliant to learn stuff, etc, etc. But one of the questions I get every time that I post a video like this is people say, how the hell do you know this stuff? And I have explained it before. Basically, ever since I was a child, and I mean a child like, well, forever basically. When I was 3 or 4, I was doing this on the beach outside my house when we used to live by the sea. Well, I live by the sea now, but when my back garden was the beach. I used to go and look for different creatures and animals and stuff, and it always fascinated me, and I always used to watch like wildlife documentaries and stuff like that from a very early age, to the point that when I was about 7, I think it would have been, my mum actually went to the point of writing to Sir David Attenborough himself, just to say how much that I enjoyed reading his books and how much that I enjoyed the programmes and stuff like that, just to be nice. And he replied to me, and I have in my possession a signed Sir David Attenborough photo dedicated to me, and a letter from him. And when you're a kid, to have David Attenborough send you a letter is just like, wow! Oh my god! Yeah, beat the horn and everything. Oh my god! So my love of wildlife has always been there, and I've always learnt about this, that and the other, and I do have a slightly strange brain in the way that, well, people seem to say this to me, they're like, your information retention is ridiculous, because people will tell me something once, and then 4 years down the line, I'll remember it as if it was yesterday, and I do this for a lot of stuff. But when it comes to wildlife stuff, once it's in there, it locks. It just doesn't go away. So anyway, later in life, about 15, I get into photography, 15, 16, I get into photography, film photography using a manual camera. I was just learning how to, how it all worked. And very quickly got to grips with photography, really enjoyed it. And then I took some pictures of some wildlife because I want something more challenging. And wildlife photography is one of the most difficult types of photography out there, because unlike humans, you can't tell them what you want them to do, and you have to have the knowledge and the ability to stalk stuff and all that sort of stuff. So that's where it sort of started with the photography side. As the years progressed, I bought better camera equipment, learnt more about photography, and then ended up doing it semi-professionally as a wildlife photographer, not a photographer of people. I've never wanted to take pictures of people. Through the photography and meeting people and becoming very good friends with some naturalists, and it's basically spending every single day that I could out in the field, and I mean that literally, 6 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night, dusk till dawn, or dawn till dusk, sorry, just out looking at stuff. And with the photography side of it really powering me through it, I went through different types of wildlife and stuff, and really, really in depth learned about these things. As I say, I was out in the field on a daily basis. So I started out with birds. A few years through the bird stuff, learned the birds. There's only about 240 in the UK species. I know a lot more than that, but so that's the ones in the UK. So I can recognise nearly all the birds in the UK. Well, I know them all by sight, but most of them by like call alone and stuff like that. Then I got into mothing, or moth trapping, which is, as you've seen, a humane moth trap, which basically you put out and you catch moths and you learn from what you catch. One of the reasons moths are so much more interesting than butterflies is the fact that butterflies in the UK are not very common. There is a few species which are common, but most of them aren't, and there's about 50 species of butterfly, as I say, in the UK. Moths, there's 2,500 species. So there's so much more to learn, so much more to, possibilities of finding these things. And with the ability to literally put a trap in your back garden and let the things come to you, and then in the morning they're just there, and then I can photograph them and learn about them. I did this for quite a few years. In fact, I ran my trap on every suitable night for a couple of years in one row. Like literally, it was, during the winter we don't get many moths. We get a few, like December moth and winter moth and stuff like that, but the majority of them aren't around. But during the time that they were, my trap was out every night and I was up very early every morning to see what I had, recording it, and I did catch some very good things. I noticed some interesting trends. I picked up on some species which have now become quite common, at the point that I was trapping them were some of the first in the country. This is how, you know, things are progressing, bit of global warming, bit of warmth, species moving here. And these are natural, like, migrations to here rather than like accidental imports like you get through vegetables and stuff that come through, and they brought things like the brown apple moth that I pointed out in that video. So at this point, general wildlife, I've been learning about that for years. Birds, quite a few years. Insects and moths, did that for a few years. And as the moths started to sort of really pique my interest, because there was so much more variety, so many more different things to see, I got into macro photography, as you've seen some of my macro shots. Then, obviously, a natural progression from that is I started learning about insects and the other things that turned up in the moth trap and the other things I could find out about. So I then was learning about insects and beetles and spiders, and now that's where my true interest lays. It's in the hidden worlds, basically. Because you take a patch of grass in your back garden, looks like a patch of grass, if you get down on your hands and knees and you start sifting through it, you find some amazing little things. And there's so much diversity there, because invertebrates, you know, there is a lot of them. And that gives me many chances to photograph different things. And as I say, I sold some of my pictures, it earned me some money, it paid for a percentage of my equipment, but photography equipment is very expensive. Although these days, thankfully, the prices of some decent, like, budget stuff is pretty good. So, that's basically how I've come to know everything that I know. It's very good information retention, plus with years and years of actual study in the wild, looking at stuff, referring to books, learning from others, that sort of stuff. That is how I got to this point. As you know, I've made wildlife type videos and I put them on this channel, which is a motovlogging channel, but I'm not set, you know, to just do motovlog type stuff. So I do whatever I like, because people enjoy a bit of variety. But I do understand that this is more of an adult-based channel, because I do swear, like I did in the wildlife nighttime one, which can't really be shown to kids for that reason. And I realise that the sorts of videos I have planned will be of interest to you guys as well as other people and kids, and it could possibly be a successful thing, I don't know. But the point is, I will get to make videos about wildlife as often as I like, because I don't like to bombard this channel with wildlife videos. So I have the knowledge and I have the ability, and I actually have most of the equipment, because I have all my lenses and all my stuff for my SLR stuff. And I have a small camera, which, as you've seen, is very good for macro stuff, and I can make do with that, but my plan is to go and buy an SLR with the ability to do video, and something like a 600D. It's not the best one out there, but it will do what I need it to do, and I can use my macro lenses and my lenses and the stuff I have. And what my plan is to not bombard this channel with wildlifey stuff which isn't really relevant. Well, it is to some people, but it isn't on everything. Is I'm planning on making a second channel. Now this will be dedicated to my wildlife stuff, and will give me the ability that if I just find, I don't know, say a stag beetle just appears, I can film it for a bit, I can do a little bit of narration over the video and make a short video about that insect, because it will be interesting. And then and I can put these up as regularly as I like without annoying people who are only here for the motorcycle related stuff. So basically, that is the plan. I'm going to make a wildlife dedicated channel. I don't know what it's going to be called yet. As I say, I have everything I need to do, I just need to set the channel up. Thankfully, with my partnership, I can set another channel up and I can connect it with my other part, with this channel, in the way that, you know, they both earn me money, which would be good, because the wildlifey stuff has a potential to have a much wider audience than just the motorcycle related stuff. And as we know, with things that have recently happened, if those videos do get decent views, I don't imagine they will do to start with, but if they do eventually, it will be for good educational reasons, and that will be amazing, because not only have I now utilised all the work I've done in learning everything that I've done, utilised my ability to make video and photography, so it's everything I've learned up into my life until now, but it'll be for a good educational and positive reason, and it won't be all stuffy shirted you know, this is about it will be a amount of comedy to it, because that's a nice way to learn things. Now, I won't have videos probably nearly as regularly as this channel does, because the vlogging side of things is easier to do. I can just sit on the bike and do it, and I can do it on the way to going to film stuff for the wildlifey stuff. You see, it all works together. Now, obviously, for the wildlife stuff, I need time to record things, and I need to wait certain times of the year for things to appear, because unlike this sort of video that I can just sit on the bike and do, I have to wait for the situation to be right, the weather and everything, and be able to get to the place on the day, and then find the item that I'm after. But because I know about lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff, I should be able to, for the starting point anyway, be able to go out, film loads of stuff as stock, then put these videos together. That should hopefully be amazing macro close-ups, very pretty. Now, as I say, it won't take away from my motovlogging. I can still do both. It will sort of join together in the middle, but they'll be shown in different places, because obviously some's for kids and some isn't. So, yeah, basically that's the plan. But what's going to help a lot is that I have you guys, my 25,000 motovlogging subs, who also like my wildlifey stuff. Most of you, I think. So when this channel starts up, I will be asking for people to go over to there and subscribe to that channel and like the videos to help it get its kicking start boost. Because I think it's going to be a good thing and it'll be fun. And it will let me be able to actually use my brain a bit more and use the information and, you know, the knowledge that I have and utilise that into something day to day, which will make me feel very happy. So there you go, that's the plan. I'm currently in the sort of works of trying to scrimp every bit of money together I can to buy an SLR that can do video. I'm looking currently at the 600D. I've looked at lots of reviews, backs and forwards, and I was looking at the 60D and all these sorts of things. And yeah, it seems like a 600D would do me fine. It may not be the best at everything, but you know, it's good. There's a subscriber of mine out there. You're getting on YouTube again! I know, this guy stalks me everywhere I go. 4 o'clock in the morning, you weren't like in the bushes outside my window, were you? Oh, that was your mate, was it? Yeah, it was always your mate. See you later, mate. Oh dear. Anyway, so, that's the plan. To me, it sounds like a fucking good one. I'm really looking forward to it. So, until next time, I'll catch you next time. That's kind of obvious to say that, isn't it? Until next time, catch you next time. Next time will be next time. Getting warmer, getting warmer, getting warmer, getting warmer. Imagine if you had to do this, every time you wanted to move, you had to stand there and shake around like a fucking idiot. Oh. Go then. Hey.